Ever since I was little, I've pondered the connection between the music I love and the images and stories that would stream through my head while I was listening to that music. I came across the work of Swiss psychoanalyst Carl Jung and discovered that what he called archetypes actually play a prime role in the connection between music and the myths and images we generate internally. In essence, archetypes are inherited modes of apprehension or behavior patterns, and they make themselves known psychologically through images. Experiences, real and imaginary, represents an exploration into these worlds. The album starts with 21st Century Alchemy. The song really sets the tone for the album. It's like the beginning of a journey, so to speak. I realized that I thought of music as a form of alchemy, and that brings together the events of our physical experience and psychological experience to create a gestalt, or in alchemical terms, gold. Jung actually posited that the alchemists were actually striving for inner transformation and wholeness. The track features my good friend and amazing alto sax player Danny Janklow, my friend and one of my favorite piano players, Amaro Ruiz, also makes an appearance on this track. The rhythm section on this is Benjamin Shepard and Gene Coy. For most of the tunes on the album, they are the featured rhythm section. Before I titled the piece, I became aware of the term Chaparral, which is actually the word used to describe a type of biome that's almost exclusive to the area in Southern California where I live and where I grew up. Chaparral, in a way, represents an inner sanctum one can go to, a peaceful state of beauty. My legendary friend, Dave Grusin, graced this track with his awesome and sensitive touch at the piano, and Danny Janklow is also featured on this piece. The Ballad of James Dean is one of what I call character pieces that are on the album. The sound of an almost film noir inspired trumpet struck me as very fitting. My friend Mike Catone and his very lyrical sensibility were perfect for this lead trumpet role. Dean was full of opposing character traits, but he always seemed to be after something that was unattainable. This was exemplified, I think, by his intense focus during solitude. I think that was necessary for his art making, but also brought about by his feeling of maybe being misunderstood by the world. Dave Grusin makes another appearance on this track, and his inherently cinematic character also did wonders for the song. There's a feeling of breaking away from the norm through speed, moving away from a ballad tempo into a brisk development. And intertwined with all this, I feel, is the sense of lost promise. The final piece on the album is called To a Theater Near You. It originally started in my mind as a possible guitar-piano duo piece, but ended up being much more than that. It's the most cinematically oriented piece on the album, and I wanted the arc of it to describe the narrative nature one might encounter in a film to elicit the same sorts of psychological responses a great film composer is able to. Motifs from previous tracks and from earlier in the piece itself are brought together to signal the totality of the album's musical adventure. And I couldn't have thought of anyone better than my friend Vardan of Sepien to fill the piano chair. His improvisational sense, his compositional inclination, and his classical influence provided some pretty stunning results, I feel. Also on this track is my dear friend Jacob Cesny. I had him playing tenor saxophone, clarinet, even flute at some points. The title of the song implies its cinematic nature, but on a deeper level, it connects to the core of the album's aesthetic, and that is that the most poignant theater we go to is in our own minds.